past 10 years of anime, straight fire. We've had breakout hits, emotional masterpieces, and shows that basically broke the internet. So today, I'm breaking down my picks for the top 30 new gen action anime. We're talking heavy hitters, underrated bangers, and future classics. Let's get into it. If you love classic underdog stories with a magical twist, Wisteria Wand and Sword is your jam.
ダンジョンでモンスターをぶっ倒せ。僕だってやればできるんだ。魔法を使えなくたって。
It's set in a magic academy where everyone casts and summons fireballs, except for our boy Will. Why? Because this dude can't seem to use magic, not even a spark. But here's the twist, he's an absolute sword-swinging maniac. Think Mashal, but with less comedy and more determined swordplay. Will dreams of becoming one of the mighty Magia Vandals, even if the entire school thinks he's just a musclehead. The show gives you a nice balance of heartfelt grit and solid world building, and the art, smooth, clean, and hits where it matters during fights. As a newcomer to the anime scene, Wisteria has the potential to evolve into something huge. Don't let the generic school fantasy tag fool you. This one might just surprise you with its heart and heat. Now this one, pure art. The Chinese Dongguan took the animation world by storm when its first episodes dropped like thunder. Every frame is handcrafted, layered with traditional Chinese artistry, mythical beasts, and elemental powers that literally reshape the screen mid-fight. The plot centers on a mystical realm where warriors channel elemental powers to fend off monstrous invaders. Sound familiar? Sure, but it's all about execution, and Fog Hill executes hard. There isn't much dialogue, and honestly, it doesn't need it. The visuals do the talking. While it's still a bit under the radar, especially for international fans, its influence is growing fast. If you've been sleeping on Chinese anime, Fog Hill of the 5 Elements is your wake-up call. Trust me, you'll be rewatching those fight scenes just to catch every micro moment. If you've been watching my videos regularly, you know that I never shy away from mentioning this particular anime. Don't let the adorable blonde girl in military uniform fool you. Saga of Tanya the Evil is pure, calculated chaos. This isekai flips the script. A ruthless salaryman gets reborn as a magical child soldier in an alternate World War I style world, and he's pissed at God, at war, at everything. Tanya is terrifying, brilliant, and absurdly overpowered. But what really makes the show shine is its mix of intense strategy, dry humor, and philosophical jabs about faith, power, and free will. The magic meets machine gun combat is stylish, the world building is tight, and the battles, they're more like chess matches with explosions. The anime doesn't hold your hand, it expects you to keep up, and that makes the payoffs even sweeter. Tanya is one of the most unique protagonists in anime, period. Whether you see her as a villain or a twisted hero, one thing's for sure, she makes war wickedly entertaining. It's fire, literally. Fire Force takes a simple idea, firefighters who fight spontaneous human combustion demons, and cranks the volume to 11. With the same author behind Soul Eater, you already know it's going to be slick, and it is. The story follows Shinra Kusakabe, a devil-grinning pyrokinetic who can ignite his feet and fly-kick enemies straight into orbit. But there's more going on under the surface. Conspiracies, cults, the meaning of life and death, and a mysterious brother with very different firepower. Fire Force is pure shonen adrenaline. Yes, the fan service can be weirdly timed. Yes, people get punched into church ceilings. When it gets serious, it really gets serious. And fun fact, this anime is directly tied to Soul Eater universe, so yeah, it's cannon fire. Explosive action, lovable misfits, and a storyline that gets deeper the further you go. If Dorohedoro had a genre, it would be chaotic gremlin energy. This anime is dirty, grungy, violent, and somehow still heartwarming. Set in the grimy, brutal world of Hole, it follows Kaiman, a man with a lizard head who's trying to find out who turned him into, well, the lizard. And to get answers, he bites people's heads off, literally. Dorohedoro is an absurd mix of horror, comedy, action, and slice-of-life moments. 1 second you're laughing at gyoza cooking scenes, the next you're watching sorcerers brutally annihilate people. The character designs are as messy and as lovable as the world itself, and the show's got a weirdly addictive charm. Mappa's gritty, almost clay-like animation style fits the tone perfectly. It's grotesque, it's hilarious, it's unforgettable. If you like your anime weird, wild, and unpredictable, Dorohedoro is your perfect chaotic meal.
待ってろよ魔法使い、明日は必ず見つけてやるからな。
Before Linkstar became a meme, the King's Avatar was redefining gaming anime. The Chinese powerhouse ditches isekai and fantasy worlds. No magic swords here, just pure skill. Yi Shu, the god of glory, gets kicked from his esports team and has to start over from scratch. And it's not about luck or secret hacks, it's about knowing the game inside out. The King's Avatar feels like a love letter to competitive gaming with smart tactics, tight character progression, and some seriously intense PvP matches. The animation, while a little rough early on, levels up fast and nails the action choreography inside the game world. Plus, Yishu's cool-headed flexes are legendary. It's a refreshing spin on the gaming anime genre. No cheats, no magic, just raw grind, strategy, and endless grind. If you love esports or MMO culture, this show is basically your spirit animal.
抓住你了！
Golden Kamui is what happens when you throw a survival drama, historical epic, violent treasure hunt, and food show into a blender. And somehow, it all works beautifully. The story follows Sugimoto, a tough-as-nails war veteran, and Asirpa, a sharp-witted Ainu girl, as they hunt for hidden gold in snowy Hokkaido. Oh, and did I mention the map to the treasure is tattooed onto the backs of dangerous criminals? Yeah, it gets messy. The anime balances brutal fights with hilarious, wholesome moments, and way too much info about cooking wild animals. 1 minute you're watching a man wrestle a bear, the next you're giggling over how to make miso soup. The historical details, especially about Ainu culture, are handled with real respect too. It's weird, it's wild, it's surprisingly educational, and it's got some of the best character chemistry you'll ever see. Golden Kamui is an absolute adventure.
俺は金で、アシリパさんは親の敵。目的は違えど、道は同じ。二人で手を組めば、鬼に金棒だ。
Hell's Paradise feels like if Battle Royale, Ninja Scroll, and Demon Slayer had a beautiful, brutal baby. Set on a cursed island filled with monstrous flora and twisted immortals, this anime is a deadly survival game where death can come at you from literally anywhere. Our main man, Gabimaru the Hollow, is a ninja who wants nothing more than to reunite with his wife. But to earn his freedom, he needs to find a certain elixir, and in the process, he's got to outlast other criminals and their executioners on an island straight out of a fever dream. The fights, vicious. The designs, grotesque and gorgeous. The pacing, breakneck. But underneath the carnage, there's real emotional weight. Themes of redemption, humanity, and love are always simmering just under the surface. Studio Mappa brought some serious A-game to the animation too. Hell's Paradise isn't just about violence, it's about why we fight to live at all.
限界を超えなければならない。僕の憧れる存在は核では蒸発しないのだ。妥協は許されない。
Alright, this one is pure, unfiltered Chunibyo wish fulfillment, and it's glorious. The Eminence in Shadow asks, what if the edgy kid pretending to be in a secret organization actually accidentally started a real one? Enter Sid Gargano, a guy who just wants to play out his cool, mysterious mastermind fantasies. The joke, everything he makes up turns out to be real. Demonic cult? Real. Evil overlords? Real. Sid? Still completely unaware. The anime leans into the absurdity and pulls it off with amazing deadpan humor, over-the-top action, and a self-aware script that parodies every power fantasy while also being one. Shadow Garden, his all-female squad of deadly operatives, might be cooler than the MC himself. It's flashy, ridiculous, and incredibly satisfying if you're in on the joke. Whether you're watching it for the memes or for the actually slick animation, Eminence in Shadow is peak. I didn't ask for this power, but now I'm unstoppable fun.
シャドウ。ほうほう。なるほどなるほど。あんなにかっこよくて男らしかったのに、かっこ自称かっこ閉じ、今ではこんなに優先的な洗練されたスタイルに。ってアホか、認められるか。
On paper, Slime Isekai sounds like a joke. Guy dies and gets reincarnated as a blob. But here's the twist. Rimuru Tempest, the most OP slime in anime history, somehow manages to build a nation of monsters, allies with dragons, and goes full fantasy diplomat with a smile on his squishy face. What starts as a cozy isekai with kingdom building mechanics quickly escalates into full-scale magical warfare, political maneuvering, and god-tier power scaling. And it all works because Rimuru is just that likable. He's OP, yes, but he's also thoughtful, incisive, and chill. The side cast is massive and surprisingly well developed, looking at you, Shion, and the world building, super tight. It's not just another power trip, it's strategic, emotional, and yes, sometimes completely ridiculous in the best way. If you're tired of isekai but still crave the genre done right, Slime is your safe zone. Fluffy, fun, and kinda epic.
これが神ゲーシャングリラフロンティア。俺は今ゲームを最高に楽しんでいる。バグ、素調整、理不尽演歌、あらゆるクソゲーを乗り越えたゲーマーだぞ。
Shangri-La Frontier is basically catnip for gamers. It takes everything you love about janky MMOs, glitches, overpowered builds, rage-inducing bosses, and throws you into a VR world where surviving broken mechanics is part of the fun. Meet Sunraku, our pro-gamer MC who skips polished games for bug-ridden nightmares. Why? Because the challenge is the thrill. And in Shangri-La Frontier, he's diving into the game from hell, facing enemies that aren't just strong, they're glitch strong. What makes it stand out? Sunraku isn't a chosen one or some reincarnated hero, he's just that good. It's a celebration of gaming culture filled with meta humor, gear flexes, and strat-heavy fights that feel earned. And unlike your average VR MMO anime, the stakes feel grounded and personal. The art's crisp, the world's immersive, and it treats its audience like gamers, not noobs. If you ever screamed at a bugged boss in Dark Souls, this show's for you.
そろそろ眠りだ、墓守のウェザー
Ah yes, Black Clover, the anime that started out getting clowned for its screaming and became one of the most satisfying glow-ups in new gen history. Asta, our shouty, muscle-brained protagonist, dreams of becoming the Wizard King in a world where magic is everything, and he has none. But what he does have is anti-magic, pure grit, and a will stronger than any spell. What makes Black Clover click is how it gradually builds its world and lets its massive cast grow. No one's useless here. Every Magic Knight squad gets their moment to shine, and the rivalries, like Asta versus Yuno, still elite, they all hit hard. The fights go full Dragon Ball with magical explosions, dimensional cuts, and power-ups that always feel earned. Yeah, early animation was rough, but once the studio got rolling, the heat was real. If you love shonen and live for underdog wins, Black Clover delivers in spades. If you like your anime with samurai swords, cursed children, and an existential crisis every other episode, Dororo is your jam. The reboot of Osamu Tezuka's classic manga is bleak, beautiful, and surprisingly human. The premise: a warlord sells off his unborn son's body parts to demons in exchange for power. Yeah, dark. That baby grows up to be Hyakimaru, a silent, stoic warrior reclaiming his body part by slashing each demon. Alongside him is Dororo, a snarky orphan with a huge heart and a secret of their own. The duo's bond is the soul of the show, balancing bloody battles with tender moments. The animation is sharp, the soundtrack hits just right, and the ending, oof, right in the chest. Dororo blends action, tragedy, and a philosophical depth into a tight 24-episode journey that's perfect for binging. It's old school storytelling, modern execution, and absolutely unforgettable.
鬼になっちゃダメだ。死んじゃダメだ。
What do you think so far? Enjoying this video? If yes, please hit that like button and subscribe for much more awesome content. You may as well turn on the notification button to be updated every time I upload a new video too. Cool? Let's check out the next entry. Literary icons with superpowers battling it out in trench coats? Sign me up. Bungo Stray Dogs is a stylish mix of noir mystery, supernatural fights, and chaotic workplace drama. Our main man Atsushi joins the armed detective agency, a team of oddballs with powers named after classic authors like Dostoevsky, Poe, and Dazai, who may or may not be the most suicidal troll in anime. The show starts light but slowly builds into a full-blown war between secret organizations, moral dilemmas, and some of the best written villains in recent anime. The powers are unique, the plot twists come fast, and the emotional depth hits harder than expected. Plus, the jazzy soundtrack and killer visuals make every episode feel like a cinematic experience. Whether you're here for the literary references or the who's betraying who now tension, Bungo Stray Dogs keeps you hooked. It's weird, it's brilliant, it's an absolute trip. '86 doesn't just hit different, it hurts different. This military mecha drama sneaks up on you. It starts with shiny drones and politics, then sucker punches you with themes of racism, war trauma, and dehumanization. The story follows two perspectives: Lena, a handler from the privileged, safe side of the war, and Shine, aka Undertaker, a soldier leading a squad of outcast fighters from the 86th District. On the surface, it's sci-fi warfare, but at its core, it's about what it means to be human in a world that treats you like disposable hardware. The directing, sharp. The animation, gorgeous. The voice acting, full-on feels. The handler and soldier dynamic between Lena and Shin is complex, heartbreaking, and honestly kind of beautiful. If you like your anime heavy, emotional, and intelligent, 86 is a must-watch. Just have tissues ready. Lots of them. You're not getting through this one dry-eyed. You know what's better than fighting anime? fighting anime with drip. Windbreaker rolls up like the spiritual successor to Tokyo Revengers, but with tighter animation, way more swagger, and a protagonist who can punch through concrete if he skips breakfast. Meet Haruka Sakura. Quiet, angry, and ready to throw hands. He transfers to a school where the top dogs solve everything through brawls. It's a world where respect is earned with fists, and Haruka's about to climb the ranks whether anyone likes it or not. But beneath all the fights, it's got heart, brotherhood, loyalty, trauma, pride. Windbreaker punches way above its weight in the emotional department. The fights are clean, brutal, and animated like a music video. Oh, and the OP? Certified banger. If you're craving street fights, big emotions, and a cast full of fan-favorite boys, this one's already making waves in 2025 and it's just getting started.
そんなこともわからないやつに俺は 100% 負けない。
ありがとうおばあちゃん。これならクセ男ぶっ飛ばせるわい。
Aliens, ghosts, psychics, grandma demons, and a dude named Okarun. Welcome to Dandadan, a fever dream of supernatural chaos that's somehow equal parts action-packed, hilarious, and low-key emotional. The plot kicks off when Momo and Okarun, two high school misfits, investigate a haunted tunnel and end up getting cursed, abducted, and entangled in a world of yokai, ETs, and literal nut kicks from space. The energy is non-stop. Every episode throws something new at you, and the animation is absolute eye candy. Studio Science Saru is doing God's work, making every scene explode with style. But beneath the insanity, there's a weirdly sweet coming-of-age story about identity, belief, and finding your people, even if those people include a cursed granny spirit and a time-traveling ghost fighter. If you're tired of predictable plots and cookie-cutter characters, Dandadan is here to blast your expectations into another dimension. Pure chaos, pure joy. It's a must-watch.
お前が頑張ったおかげでみんな避難できたぞ。あとは俺に任せろ。
Kaiju number 8 is what you get when Attack on Titans meets One Punch Man, but with a 32-year-old janitor who's tired of being left behind. Gafgar Hibino is stuck cleaning up Kaiju's guts until one day he swallows a mysterious creature and becomes a Kaiju himself. And just like that, he's back in the action. The beauty of Kaiju number 8 isn't just the monster fights, which are awesome by the way, don't worry about that. It's Gafgar's midlife glow-up. He's not your typical wide-eyed shonen hero shouting on top of his lungs. He's desperate, determined, and constantly on the edge of being discovered by the very squad he joins. The show hits with Mappa level animation, brutal kaiju designs, and a cast of lovable weirdos who all have their own demons to fight, literally and emotionally. It's relatable, hype, and deeply human. Midlife crisis anime? Yes please. Gafgar is the kaiju king we didn't know we needed. Short, savage, and unforgettable. Cyberpunk Edge Runners is 10 episodes of pure heartbreak. Set in Night City, where chrome rules and morals get traded for mods, this show tells the story of David Martinez, a street kid who climbs the ladder of power in the most brutal way possible. Studio Trigger delivers visual mayhem here, explosions, gunplay, and neon everywhere. But what hits hardest is the soul beneath the cyberware. David isn't just trying to survive, he's trying to matter in a world that chews people up and spits them out. And let's not even talk about Lucy. That final episode, that song, still hurts. It's rare for a spin-off to outshine its source material, but Edge Runners didn't just outshine, it carved its own legend. If you want something loud, tragic, stylish, and meaningful, this is it. Just be prepared to have your heart ripped out and chrome-plated. Let's be honest, Solo Leveling didn't walk into anime, it kicked down the door. Fans had been waiting for this adaptation for years, and when it dropped, it delivered big time. Sung Jin-woo starts as the weakest hunter alive, a walking L, but after a mysterious system chooses him, he goes full grind mode and levels up into an absolute menace. We're talking shadow armies, boss solos, and you mess with the wrong guy energy every episode. What makes Solo Leveling so addictive is how clean the progression feels. Every power-up feels earned, every enemy more dangerous than the last. And the art, gorgeous. The animation, mwah. The soundtrack, pure dopamine. It's wish fulfillment, yes, but it's done with swagger, pacing, and an MC that turns from punching bag to walking apocalypse. If you've ever cheered at a shonen transformation scene, Solo Leveling was made for you. Chainsaw Man is like a fever dream dipped in gasoline and lit with a Zippo. It's messy, violent, horny, and somehow incredibly sad. Denji, our MC, is dirt poor, sells his organs to survive, and just wants toast, boobs, and a better life. So when he fuses with his demon dog / chainsaw pet Pochita, he becomes a chainsaw demon hunter who rips devils apart with motor blade fury. But the real horror is system. Makima is terrifying. Power is chaos incarnate. Aki will break your soul. And the pacing, it's fast, brutal, and totally unpredictable. Studio Mappa brought it to life with raw, cinematic power. Each fight is like a music video from hell. This isn't just edgy for the sake of it, it's a story about trauma, loneliness, and the lies we tell ourselves just to get through the day. And where does it hit? It chainsaws right through your emotions. Mob Psycho isn't just about explosions, it's about emotional explosions. Shigeo Mob Kageyama is an awkward, quiet kid with god-tier psychic powers and no clue how to deal with feelings. Created by the same genius behind One Punch Man, this series flips the OP protagonist trope on its head. Mob doesn't want power, he wants peace. These fights are incredible, vivid, surreal, almost abstract at times, but it's the human drama that hits hardest. Mob's slow journey of self-growth, his bond with lovable scam mentor Reigen, and his evolving friendships gives the show a surprising emotional depth. Every 100% moment is a release, not just of power, but of pain, of joy, and of everything bottled up. The art style is weird on purpose, but that's part of its charm, you know. Mob Psycho is hilarious, profound, and at times genuinely life-affirming. It's not just an anime, it's a full-blown catharsis. My Hero Academia kicked off the superhero boom in anime and hasn't looked back since. With a world where 80% of the population has powers or quirks, this show asks, what does it really mean to be a hero? Enter Deku. Quirkless, nervous, but full of heart. After inheriting the legendary power of One for All, he trains to become the symbol of peace. But this isn't just spandex and speeches. MHA dives into legacy, society, trauma, and the price of power. From All Might's epic smile to Shigaraki's terrifying evolution, the stakes keep rising. The animation pops, the music's iconic, and let's be honest, those plus ultra moments chills every time. Whether you're Team Deku, Bakugo Bros, or Todoroki trash, there's something for everyone here. Say what you want about pacing, when MHA hits, it hits hard, and it's carved its name deep into anime history. Saitama is bold, emotionless, looks like he sells insurance. But oh man, when this guy punches, the planet shivers.
必殺マジシリーズマジ殴り
One Punch Man is a genre breaker, parodying every shonen cliche while still being one of the most badass action shows of all time. Season 1 was a straight up masterpiece. God tier animation, side characters with actual arcs, and fight scenes that made jaws drop worldwide. But it's not just about flexing. The show's secretly a commentary on purpose, boredom, and what happens when you're too powerful for your own good. Genos is all heart. Moomin Rider is the goat of spirit, and the villains, they actually slap. Garo alone could carry a series. Even with Season 2's dip in visuals, the hype and humour never left. Few anime can make you laugh and leave you in awe in the same breath, but One Punch Man makes it look easy. Almost too easy.
またワンパンで終わっちまった。くそったれー。逃げろルーデウス。
Mushoku Tensei proves why the genre can be so much more than power fantasies and harems. It starts with a controversial but honest premise. A deadbeat NEET gets reborn into a magical world and vows to live without regrets. What unfolds is a raw, visually stunning coming-of-age story filled with magic, monsters, and heartbreak. The action? Insane and animated with movie-level fluidity. Fights aren't just about power, they're intense and often emotionally driven. But what really sets Mushoku Tensei apart is its brutal honesty. This world doesn't bend for Rudy. He has to learn, fall, grow, and carry his emotional baggage through every arc. And despite all the fantasy tropes, it does feel human. You cheer when he wins, you cringe when he messes up, and you can't stop watching. It's bold, controversial, and absolutely unforgettable. Easily one of the decade's best anime adventures.
全然結果が違うじゃねえか。どういう脚力だよ。パートナー精霊不在の精霊騎士夏木スバル、剣聖の家系ラインハルト・バン・アストレア。この結婚式に物申すってな。
Alright, let's talk about ReZero. At first glance, you might think it's just another isekai. Guy gets transported to a fantasy world, yada yada yada. But ReZero throws that whole comfort fantasy trope into a blender and adds a big ol' scoop of pain. Subaru, our MC, can return by death, which sounds pretty cool, until you realize he has to relive trauma over and over again. So it's brutal, emotional, and the stakes never feel fake. Every death hurts, every decision matters, and that tension, oh, mwah. Plus, the world building is top tier. Politics, witches, cults, timelines. It's like Game of Thrones meets Groundhog Day. The action's intense too. Magic duels, beast hunts, and some of the most stress-inducing battles in anime. And let's not forget the character development. Subaru starts as a cringy, overconfident teen and slowly becomes one of the most human protagonists out there. Mix in iconic waifus like Rem and you got a show that hits hard, both emotionally and explosively. It's not just action, it's emotional warfare with swords and sorcery.
ありえないことだ。 天地がひっくり返って
破られる。
A Imagine beating the Demon King, saving the world, and then what? That's where Frieren begins, and it's brilliant. Instead of focusing on the quest, it explores what happens after. Frieren, an elven mage who barely aged during the long journey, suddenly realizes that her human comrades have grown old, and that hits her like a truck of emotions. The action in Frieren isn't just flashy, it's deeply meaningful. Every battle feels like a memory surfacing or a reflection on time, regret, and purpose. Magic is shown in an elegant, almost poetic way. Spells aren't just fireballs, they're crafted with personality and nuance. And when Frieren fights, it's precise, calculated, and filled with emotional weight. This anime is like if Studio Ghibli made Attack on Titan. Calm and introspective, but when the fight scenes hit, they hit. It's a refreshing take on action anime, showing you don't need a loud, overpowered protagonist to tell a powerful story. Frieren redefines what post-adventure anime can be, and it sneaks up on your heart like a spell you never saw coming.
なんでもっと知ろうと思わなかったんだろう。
Let's talk numbers. Demon Slayer shattered box office records, dominated anime awards, and turned every breathing technique into a trend. But behind the numbers is a show with pure soul. Tanjiro Kamado is your classic good boy with a sword. After demons slaughter his family and turn his sister into one of them, he sets off to find a cure. What follows? Pure, polished, pulse-pounding anime greatness. Every fight is a visual masterpiece. Ufotable said, what if we animated fire and water like paintings? And then they did exactly that. Nezuko became an icon. Rengoku, a legend. Muzan, Michael Jackson with murder issues. The pacing is tight, the emotional beats hit, and the arcs, especially Entertainment District and Mugen Train, are borderline perfection. It may not reinvent the wheel, but Demon Slayer perfected it. It's dramatic, beautiful, and straight up unforgettable. Call it mainstream all you want, it earned every second of that spotlight.
俺と禰豆子の絆は誰にも引き裂けない
Forget swords and magic. Vinland Saga is about war, pain, revenge, and ultimately peace. This ain't your typical action anime. It starts off with Thorfinn, a boy raised by violence, hell-bent on avenging his father's death. What unfolds is a gritty Viking epic full of betrayal, politics, and sword fights that are as grounded as they are brutal. But the real twist? Vinland Saga slows down and evolves. Season 2 flips the script completely, shifting from revenge-fueled bloodshed to deep philosophical introspection. It asks, what does freedom mean? Is redemption possible? And how do you escape a cycle of violence when it's all you've ever known? The storytelling is mature, the characters are painfully human, and the emotional impact heavy. Askeladd might be one of the greatest anime characters of all time. It's raw, it's real, and it doesn't hand you catharsis easily, but when it does, it wrecks you. No surprises here. Jujutsu Kaisen is the crown jewel of new-gen anime. A perfect storm of everything anime fans love. Insane fight choreography, unforgettable characters, brutal stakes, cursed energy systems, and plot twists that leave you staring at the ceiling. It's flashy, sure, but it's also deep. Yuji Itadori starts off saving his friends and ends up carrying the weight of humanity's ugliest emotions. Gojo, a living meme and an absolute menace. Sukuna, a villain so terrifying even other villains flinch. And let's not forget that season 2, Shibuya. JJK didn't just raise the bar, it drop-kicked it into space. Mappa's animation flexed harder than ever, and the emotional stakes, astronomical. Friendships torn, hearts broken, fan bases sobbing. JJK has already made history, and it's not even done yet. The fights are god tier, the writing is sharp, and the hype immortal. All hail the king of cursed energy. Jujutsu Kaisen is new gen anime's final boss. And there you have it, 30 action anime that defined a generation. So what's your number one? Which show made you scream, cry, binge till sunrise? Drop it in the comments, and if you're still breathing after this hype overload, smash that like button. Catch you in the next one.